All right, good morning. Greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today's Lions Talk Live morning show edition. And you know what? A question I had for you, as you can see in the thumbnail, how much pressure is on the coaching staff do we think this year? I mean, I am going to go out on a limb and guess most of us believe this offseason, this free agency has been through the charts. While we didn't get the big name guy, a lot of people probably wanted the big splash player that would make all the headlines on ESPN or whatever other media platform you want. This team has seemingly, I should say, hit home runs across the board, getting DJ Reader, Davis the third, among a ton of other players that should be able to come in and help solidify this team. You got the offensive line. You did basically a 2-for-1 deal for Jonah Jackson and save money on the cap while doing that. You look across the board, this team is stacked, and you still have the draft to come. With that being said, how much pressure is now on MCDC, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson to get this team not only to win the NFC North, not only to get a high seed, maybe even the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs, but to get to the first ever Super Bowl the first ever championship game in the Super Bowl era that this franchise will have been in. It's part of coaching. There's no way around it. It's easy to take over a team that hasn't done anything. And hey, even if you can have a little bit of success, most fans are happy because it's better than what it was. But we're beyond that now with this franchise. We're beyond that now with this regime. And this roster could arguably be the best in the NFL, and that's before the draft even settles in. I'll let you guys debate, hey, is this the best team, the second best, third best, whatever. You do see some polls coming out. I know there was one on ESPN, I think a day or so ago, where they had them as the Lions as the number 3 team in the entire league as far as depth and just overall roster. So the debate needs to happen. Is MCDC and company now under the gun to not just win the division, not just to get to the Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl? And for anybody who's been a Lions fan for a little bit of time, that needs to be a moment of pause. The Detroit Lions actually under the gun to win the Super Bowl this year. We'll debate that in today's show. And a couple things, as you guys all know, before we get into the meat of the show. Hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,200 subs. I want to say we're about 50 away. Maybe it's 40, whatever it is. It's not incredibly far away. Also, if you enjoyed today's content or stuff within the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up thingy and, hey, help the channel out because that stuff helps exponentially. Last but never least, just because I am a working man and, hey, have bills to pay and you got about another 10 to 15 years, whatever it is, until retirement. So with that all being said, I enjoy working. I enjoy working a lot, and I would enjoy working for you if you are looking for anybody to represent you in the purchase of private land, maybe a commercial building, a new house, a secondary house, whatever it is. If you're looking for someone who has over 30 years of experience in the real estate industry, give me a call and shoot me a text. You see my number on the screen, 269-998-2384. People ask me, hey, don't most realtors just open doors? And I try to tell everybody, not so much with me. I try to more or less do a home inspection with you because I'm going to assume most people don't know a lot about houses. So I try to make sure you understand why the walls crack, if there's clay underneath your foundation, on the sides of your foundation, lots of different nuances, what the type of tubing you may have that produces electricity in your house, the good and the bad and the indifferent of it all. So if you want somebody who works on your behalf and is going to save you some money in doing so, give me a call, shoot me a text. If you're anywhere in the state of Michigan, I'll try to help out. Other than that, if you're outside the state of Michigan, I'll try to answer some questions for you and at least point you in the right direction. All right, with all that formalities out of the way, let's see what you guys have to say. Are the Detroit Lions under the gun to be in it to win it this year? Super Bowl or bust, as Donkey Kong likes to say on the show, along with everybody else. In my opinion, 100% yes. If the Lions do not make it to the Super Bowl and win it this year, I think you're going to see some heads roll. And that doesn't mean MCDC gets fired or anything, but I think you're going to see some people whose time here in Detroit potentially could be coming to an end. All right, let's move into the comment section now. Michael, greetings and salutations, coach and Duke crew, 100%. And back at you. Oh, one other thing, just so I don't get yelled at by Jen. As most of you guys know, she's been working on a website for the channel for, I don't know, months now. And she finally got to the point where she gave me the okay to put up there. I think it's been fine for probably a month or two, but she told me I couldn't put it up there. But if you're interested in stuff, so you want to get a coffee mug, hat, glasses, sweats, whatever, you can go to lionstalklive.com. So check it out. There is a picture that pops up at the top of the screen. It stays there for a couple seconds. If you start scrolling around, it goes away. I think that's actually what gave her the most fits for a while. She was like, how do I get rid of this photo? It turns out it goes away and it's on its own in, like a second or two. All right. Anyways, Moonscar, good morning, Duke Crew. Dan, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you too, Moonscar, and hopefully have a great one. If you want, even stop by the Red Wolves basketball banquet tonight, 7 to about 8:30 tonight. We'll be saying congratulations to all the kids on a phenomenal season and start talking about next year. All right, Burger Time. Good morning, Duke Crew and Dan. Unfinished business. Lions, Super Bowl, or bust. Woo! The first woo of the show. And, Bergs, I agree with you. This year, the expectation really does need to be in the Super Bowl. You do not want to make it the NFC title game and lose out again. You don't want to miss out on the playoffs. You don't want to miss out on, whatever else. It is really, in my opinion, this year, it is Super Bowl or bust for this franchise. All right, Bo, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew. Superdome or bust. There you go. Exclamation point. Must win NFC championship game. And Bo, everybody in the chat, let me ask you. I know I've said my take that I think you need to be in it to win it this year, and anything less than that's probably going to get an eyebrow raise from the front office. So let me ask you guys, as fans, if you just make it to the Super Bowl, is that enough this year? Or do you really feel like we need to win the Super Bowl this year? I'd be curious to see what you guys expect. Me, myself, man, I would love to win the Super Bowl, but just being in the thing would probably be enough for me. I'm just not that greedy, I guess, but I think they do need to try to win it. All right, Robert G., good morning, Dan and the Duke Crew. Thank you for that, and hopefully having a great morning there, Robert. Moonscar, I believe there is pressure indeed, but with full support and contract extensions from Sheila. Yeah, and I think it's a telling move that they did, 2 weeks ago, extend MCDC and Brad Holmes' contracts. You're going to probably see that with more people throughout the organization. I understand Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn aren't going to get extensions just because I think the expectation with them is they're going to have a real good season with their respective units this season. And then they're going to interview for new jobs. Doesn't mean they couldn't extend them, but they also get that probably at that point. Those contracts are just, paper at that point because they're going to be getting out of those contracts to get head coaching jobs should that opportunity arise. Hookadoo, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Back at you, my friend. All right, Michael, will Brad Holmes draft an offensive guard in the first round or trade down to pick up more draft capital? Man, Michael, I think it's all on the table, and I think it's just going to come down to what situation presents itself. If there's a player that really, defensive end, offensive guard, whatever it is. I know Mel Kiper was talking about a wide receiver yesterday for the Detroit Lions. Whatever it is that comes our way, I think if Brad Holmes looks at it and says, man, that is just too tantalizing an offer for us to avoid, he's going to go for it. So does that mean they trade up slightly to get, whoever, Latua or whatever, Nealand, maybe Jackson Powers Johnson? I think that's a real possibility. If those guys aren't there, though, which means now some other players have probably slid down the board, maybe a quarterback, then that's where I think the phone starts ringing for people trying to trade up to get Detroit's pick. And maybe you do get, I don't know, man, 2 second-round picks or something like that in order to acquire that particular draft pick. So I think it's all on the table, and it's just going to be whatever Brad Holmes and the front office feels like is the best investment for the Detroit Lions. What's going to produce the most results for this franchise? All right, Robert G., I think the pressure will be on other teams to beat Detroit. Just my opinion. Fair enough, yeah. Like MCDC said, you don't have to come hunting us. You'll know exactly where we are, your front porch, waiting for you. Bo, we got my thoughts are trading up. Who and how? That's a great question. What would you have to give up and how far are you trying to trade up? If you're just talking a couple of spots, then you could probably get away with just trading like a third-round pick and maybe some change or whatever to move up 3, 4, maybe 5 spots. I think if you start talking 10 spots or more, you're going to have to give up a boatload to make that happen, I would think. And that just doesn't seem like a Brad Holmes approach more often than not. All right, let's see. Moonscar, MCDC will have the team in one game at a time mode. I will go with that. The coaching staff seems to know how to keep things focused that way. Yeah, 100%. The really only stretch I think most of us would look back a year ago and say, hey, we kind of struggled is right around the Chicago Bears and Thanksgiving. And there were a lot of reasons for it. You had some injuries on the offensive line, but give those two teams some credit too. They knew where to hit us and how to hit us. And it caused the Lions a couple games to kind of sputter, figure some things out, how to get around some new scenarios that were presenting themselves on both the offense and defense from those teams. But it also gave our coordinators a little bit more experience, which you guys have heard me say before. I think they're both lacking, but they're gaining every day they're out there working. All right, Silver, what do you got? Good morning, Coach, and everyone else. Just wanted to say the Lions need badly quality young offensive linemen. 4 of the 5 starters are at the end of their careers. Scorsdale, backup guard, tackle. Boy, I always kill Ozwaka, backup guard. That's it. Yeah, and I think this year they're going to address it, would be my opinion, at least in one way or another. So what they do, are they going to draft someone in the first round, second round? I think that's likely, but it doesn't mean it will happen. I think if they can get 1 or 2 more quality backups, that's probably a pretty decent rotation. If you can get 3, though, now you got a real sound rotation. Probably one of them's got to be an interior, maybe 2 of them, which you already kind of pointed out that you've got a few. But I would start planning for the future with a tackle and a guard who can also play center, or a center who can also play guard, however you want to word it. Brent, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Superdome or bust! Exclamation point, and woo! There you go. Hopefully having a great morning, my friend. I mentioned this earlier, about the website. So there you guys go. That way I don't get yelled at by Jen for not mentioning it. So there you go. If you need anything from me, just call me, text me, or whatever. Shoot me a comment in the comment section. All right, Bo, used to be a 12-game season. I don't think you had to have as much depth backup wise. That said, we are good to great across the board, better than I ever remember. I'm with you on that. I mean, it's just hard to think of any spot where we don't have depth. If you go through the secondary, we'll just say corners and safeties. I think we're pretty sound there, because I think you're going to see guys rotating from one spot to the next. Linebacker, maybe another linebacker, although Jalen Reeves may have been Rodrigo or your backups. I mean, I guess you could probably carry one more. As far as the defensive line, I know that's where we're probably going to have the most debate between that and the offensive line. We're getting one more defensive end, maybe defensive tackle, getting one or 2 more offensive linemen, but wide receiver seems to have pretty good depth. Running back, we got 4 pretty good ones on there, and you've got a backup quarterback that at least appears to have a lot of promise. So we'll see where they go. Surfer, what do you got? I continue by saying that I hope they have a good plan for the offensive line. And that, of course, that they draft, Zach Frazier. Yeah, I hear more and more people talking about him. The dude is a grinder for sure. He's someone to get out there and maul people. I will say this: I think as far as interior offensive line, it's going to come down to him and Jackson Powers Johnson. One of those guys is going first. The other one's probably going second. If you had to ask me right now, Silver, I'm probably saying Powers Johnson's probably going first. But Frazier's probably just a stone's throw behind him. So I could easily see some team taking him, and then Jackson Powers Johnson falls. Will either one be available to us at 29? I think there's a possibility. There's a real possibility, just because you look at how many quarterbacks potentially will go in the top 20 picks. How many receivers? There's a couple offensive tackles. There are some cornerbacks. I mean, you get the idea. Something's going to get pushed down to us, in my opinion. All right, Matthew, greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl. Super Bowl, exclamation point. Superdome, exclamation point. Super Pew, there you go, exclamation point. Or bust. Woo! Go see Lions at the Lions Whisper, all right? I'm not sure what the Lions Whisper is, but fair enough. Fair enough. Robert G., agreed, Surfer. Definitely need more depth on the OL, 100%. Definitely got to get some future prospects to groom and develop. I agree with you on that. Brent, trade up, trade down, question mark. Only thing I know for sure is that I have no idea what Brad will do. LOL. Yeah, and we're all guessing, man, because until the draft gets here in 30 days, maybe it's a little less than that now, it's all best guess what we're going to do, what he's going to do, and the possibilities are really endless at this point. Polar Bear, this is crazy talk, but is there any chance that ARSB is pricing himself out of Detroit? Question mark. Years of the contract could be an issue, exclamation point. It makes perfect sense to do extensions after free agency, maybe after the draft. I mean, could it be that Amon-Ra just has contract demands that supersede reality? Sure. Maybe his representation is giving him bad advice. That's also possible. If that comes into play, he won't be the first player to get hit with that. He won't be the last either. I'm just going to say this. I think he'll be a Detroit Lion. It's just going to take a matter of time, probably the spring or summertime in earnest when he gets signed. And there'll be probably a couple other people that will get signed too. Whether or not that includes Jared Goff, you guys have heard me talk about it exponentially and for a number of, probably a number of months now. I'm anticipating Jared Goff probably won't get extended until just before the regular season. I think the Lions are going to wait until they see what they have in Hendon Hooker in some preseason games before they get things finalized with that. All right, Trump. Go ahead, puke, make my day. There you go. All right. Dirty Harry. Yeah, I remember that. That's old school. Anthony, good morning. Super crew, Super Bowl or bust, exclamation point. And Anthony, thanks for all you do for the channel. Quentin, great salutations, y'all. Man, oh man, dudes. Brad Holmes been cooking, and dude has this team ready to roll. MCDC better get this done this season. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that there's going to be growing pressure on the coaching staff as we get closer to the season. You're going to probably hear more and more people talk about it, that, hey, you nearly were in it last year. Field goal kept you out. What do you got to do to get it there this year? Man, you got one of the best teams in the league. I think some of that is going to just naturally happen as we get closer and even into the season, where you're going to hear more and more commentary about it. All right, Lions fan, what do you got? Good morning, all. This truly could be the best Lions team of my lifetime. You're not wrong. I'll be 52 this year, and I'll tell you this. I used to think the 91 team, maybe even the 93 team, I think you could have a real argument which one was the better team. But one of those teams was probably the best in my lifetime. The 93 team probably just, if they could have just defended Brett Favre throwing down the opposite sideline to Sterling Sharp, they probably would have made some noise in the playoffs. They could have maybe potentially pushed for the Super Bowl. They were pretty stacked on both sides of the ball. To your point, I don't know if they were as stacked as this team appears to be, but they probably weren't far off. I'm going to go with you on this, though. I think this could be the best team of my lifetime, though. All right, Bo. An extension now does not include the pressure of the other team bids. Perhaps Sun God is waiting. It's possible, but I mean, if they want to just franchise him for 2 years, they could. I mean, he's not going anywhere unless they're just going to say, "Hey, we're ready to move on from Amon-Ra St. Brown." That would be crazy if that happened, but I just don't see it happening. Broski, of course, there's pressure is on. MCDC isn't too sharp, so I predict the Lions fall back this season. All right. So, Broski, where do you think they fall to record-wise? Hit me up with that. Let's see what you got to say. An outsider looking in, what do you think that the Lions' record would be this year, place in the standings, etc.? All right, Surfer, what do you got? As I heard somebody say in another chat, in Pittsburgh, with a good pass rush, Sutton was a dog. In Detroit, where he had to chase wide receivers for 15 minutes, yeah, that's probably true. He was no longer a dog. I add that he was injured. Yeah, and I get it. He had turf toe, especially by the time we hit the playoffs. And if they get more pressure on quarterbacks this year, then yeah, most of the cornerback room will not have to defend people for 5 Mississippi, 8 Mississippis, which at times, man, especially that Baltimore game last year, they just couldn't get any pressure to save their lives. And I want to say there were 2 or 3 different times where the commentators even pointed out that, man, Lamar Jackson had 8-9 seconds to throw the ball. Trumps, woo! There you go. Hopefully you're having a good one. Thaddeus, good morning, Duke crew. Good morning to you too. Mike the Marine, howdy, Dan, Alliance faithful. Guess what day it is? Question mark. Hump day. Woo! 100% Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to a real busy day today. Anthony, get your Duke crew t-shirts. Coach, please add contact information, and thank you for all your orders. It helps support the channel. Yeah, let me oh gosh, hold on, guys. Hold on. I should have done this before the show, but that's my bad. All right, hold on a second. Let me go ahead and type this in. Get Anthony's contact information for you guys. One moment. Por favor. Yeah, I can't play music on the channel, but I can hum it, right? All right, there we go. It should be in the comments section now if you're looking for Anthony's contact information. All right, Trump Sutton was a stud early in the season. He might have just, been playing hurt or injured. Yeah, I think there's a combination of things. One, the injuries. Two, they went from playing zone mostly in the start of the season to, as the year went on, they went to more and more man-to-man coverage. The other part of it is, they started matching him up with the other team's number one wide receiver versus Jacobs, who was doing that at the start of the year. So I think all those things came into play, and unfortunately, fans kind of soured on Sutton. But I think he's a good player. He's better at zone, in my opinion, than man. But with that also being said, you're going to have a lot of corners combating and fighting to get that number 1, 2, and 3 spot on this team's depth chart. Sutton might get it. He might not. But you know what? There's going to be some quality players out there. All right, Robert, sure is nice to see great players want to come play for the Lions now. Exclamation points. And you know what? You're not wrong, man. It's crazy that this has become a destination. You've got older players who are saying, hey, I want a chance to win the Super Bowl. And they're coming to Detroit to get that possibility. And how much has that changed across the Lions fandom? The fact that you've got guys, Pro Bowlers coming here to come try to win the Super Bowl. Bo, what do you got? Hey, Trump, I missed the stars and bars. Fair enough. Silver Server, I have the same thought as Polar Bear. I am not sure Amon-Ra will re-sign with the team. I mean, he may not have a choice. If he doesn't want to sign to stay here, then I don't know. You could like I said earlier, you could slap the franchise tag on him for a couple seasons. But my guess is he seems to be a Lion through and through. My anticipation is probably we get to June or July. He's probably resigned by that point. Something may come out between then and now, but I will say this. It's my full anticipation he's going to be a Detroit Lion. All right, John. Yes, they are not going to get away with 7 or 8 wins this season. This team is too good. Yeah, they're going to – I think the expectation is going to be like 11 or right around there, 11 wins. So it could be 10, could be 12, could be 13, sure. But it's going to be in that neighborhood. Trump, today is Castro. Okay, fair enough. Jess, what's good, y'all? Question mark. Yes, there should be pressure on the coaching staff because now the expectation is to win and win it all. 100%. It's Super Bowl or bust. It's Superdome or bust this year. They've got to be in it to win it, and they were close last year. We're all hoping that it's fuel to the fire for this team, this franchise, that you got so close to it last year. The fourth quarter, I guess you could just say the second half really didn't go your way in the NFC title game. And because of that, you didn't make the Super Bowl. This year, it's Super Bowl or bust, or probably some things are going to change. Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Winning the division should be the focus. Then at least make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, 100%. Whatever you got to do to get to the Super Bowl, I really do believe with as strong a team as we appear to have, and again, without even being in the draft yet, that it's all focus needs to be on getting to the Super Bowl. Moonscar, seems like a lot of extra energy in today's chat room. We must have got up and downed a glass of blue Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid this morning. Yeah, people are pumped up. They're ready to go. I know I'm looking forward to my Mountain Dew run at the K after the show. But you know what? You're right, Moonscar. Everybody's pumped up. They're ready to go. The focus. And again, take a moment of pause and let this sink in. The focus of this franchise isn't just to be competitive anymore. It really is to be in the Super Bowl and win it this year. And man, how times have changed over 3 years. All right, Papa, good evening, everyone. Lions fan overseas and enjoying Lions Talk Live. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hopefully having a good one. Robert G., in my opinion, it is not a must-win Super Bowl year. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. No, it wasn't. So I'm just going to say, hey, if we can just get there, though, I'm thinking a lot of people are happy. Trump, change up 67 and hot. Fair enough. All right. Mile marker, school bus has come and gone. So good morning. It's showtime. Well, welcome back to the show. Hopefully you got the kids all off and good to go for the school. Just AK, good morning. Like the website, Coach. Tell that lady of yours she did a nice job. Yeah, thanks for that, man. I know she stresses about everything and stuff like that, but she put in months trying to get this thing right, and I think she did a great job. All right, let's see. Detroit D, greetings and salutations, everyone. Back at you. Hopefully you're having an outstanding morning. Robert G, greetings and salutations to you too, my friend. Surfer, what do you got? Now, as far as I'm concerned, football starts with running the ball and stopping the run. Keep plugging the middle. Yesterday in Pro Football Focus mock, I drafted Frazier, of course, Tavares Sweat, and Penn guard. Yeah, Sweat is one I've been all about. I know you've been about Frazier. Both of them, though, go to what you're saying. Be able to run the ball, stop the ball. If we get Sweat, I'll say this, man. Between him, Martin, and DJ Reader, man, that is just a massive amount of humanity in the middle of that line, trying to clog up lanes. All right, Clark, good morning, all. Let's see, Lions can only get better from here. I still think that we will take a DE in the first, maybe even trade up. It's the biggest questions out there facing us right now. What are we going to do in the first round? What are we going to do? Trade up, trade back? It's pure speculation, whatever we say. But I could see tons of scenarios where potentially we trade up, 5, 6, 8 spots in the draft to try to acquire a very targeted player. This team, I don't think needs a ton of talent to come in. But if you could get 2 or 3 impactful players, man, oh man, this team just gets crazy deep, crazy good. Ed, I still think the Lions need a veteran backup quarterback. Who is out there? Oof. I'm not sure, but boy, that jumps out at me without having to overpay. Man, I'm not really sure there, Ed. I guess a lot of it comes down to what does the coaching staff think of Hendon Hooker? They think that he's really the guy, then that's probably where we're sticking at. Plus, it does free up another roster spot. But I'm guessing they'll sign somebody. Maybe it's Scuffield again, but I'm guessing they will get somebody, but they're probably not in a hurry to acquire said person. All right, Surfer can never have enough good elements in the trenches. Skilled positions, Lions are good. Yeah, they're pretty good across the board. But to your point, could they add a little bit more to the offensive line, maybe the defensive line? 100%. Dave, what do you got? Good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Great thumbnail today, Coach. Stands out. Thanks for that. I'm liking thumbnails, and there's a lot of YouTubers and other media platforms that do a great job with it. I'm just trying to learn from them and try to step my game up, and hopefully you guys enjoy them. Malcolm, just say K, where is the store? ? How do I check it out? Anyone? LionsTalkLive.com. So let me know if there's an issue with that. I'm pretty sure that's right. I probably should know. Trump's, is there any weakness on this team? ? Maybe like we talked about, maybe a little bit of offensive line depth, maybe a little bit of defensive line depth, maybe just trying. Nothing wrong with Badgley, but maybe try to improve the kicker spot a little bit more. Other than that, it's really hard to find weaknesses in this team. Last year, I think we all got the secondary was the weakness, and it got exposed in the title game. It got exposed other times too, but really in the NFC title game, it just finally, there wasn't enough we could do to overcome that weakness, where throughout the season, we overcame it time and time again. But yeah, I guess it's just depth at a couple key spots that I'm thinking of. All right, Doug, Trump's genius O-line depth? ? Yeah, I agree. That's probably one of them. Robert G, would be nice to be that iffy on the fly on the wall and all the draft talk meetings. Brad probably has a golden fly swatter in his office, and that's how he keeps things a mystery. Could be, man. Yeah, keep everything in house and make sure you really limit who knows what about stuff. Because to be fair, in his time here, I don't think there's been any real leaks about what they're going to do in the draft. The best one I think I can remember, and don't hold me to this, was when I want to say it was like 15, 20 minutes before their selection. I know I think I went on the mic and said, hey, we're trading out of pick 6 is what I got. I didn't think we were going to 12, but I think that's about the biggest leak I can remember. If you guys got something, let me know. But yeah, he keeps everything pretty in-house, to your point, Robert. All right, Trump's maybe another linebacker or running back. Yeah, those could be possibilities, 100%. K-Pop, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too. Silver Server, as I wrote in the comments yesterday, I do care much if Liga is 6'3" or 6'1", as long as he's still 227 pounds. Even better at 6'1", means he packs more. Yeah, there you go. He's a compact product, and the kid can fly. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Is that where we end up going? And we'll have to wait to the draft to find out. Answer 14. Greetings, salutations, Dan and Duke crew. I think there is always pressure to be successful no matter where you are in the program rebuild. The league demands it, or you find yourself on the outside looking in. Yeah, that's one of the best lines ever heard when the world of coaching came early in my coaching career. You're hired to be fired. I was assistant men's basketball coach at Western Michigan University, and I just remember the head coach at that time, Donald Sr., telling me, hey, anytime in this industry you can get a contract extension, you get a new offer somewhere else, you go ahead and do it, because as soon as you have one bad year, you can be out, and that's professionally or collegiately. Heck, man, high school, Pop Warner, or whatever it could be. And he was proven right, because I remember he took the team to the NCAA tournament. That's something for a mid-major. I mean, you're talking about a MAC level school, not Big Ten or anything, but a mid-level D1 school. We won the first game of the NCAA tournament. That offseason, he was offered a contract. Don't hold me to this because it's nearly 30 years ago. I want to say it was like a 5-year deal, 3 of the years guaranteed to take over Minnesota, the Big Ten. He turned it down out of loyalty to WMU. The following season, so the 1 year after taking him to the title game, we've got a bunch of, for the most part, underclassmen on the roster, and the new president of Western Michigan University fires him. And I was like, man, it all came to fruition to him. And I think that was actually his last coaching assignment. This is a guy who worked for Bobby Knight, amongst other people. Heck of a resume. Helped coach the Pan American Games with Michael Jordan, stuff like that. And the fact that he did so much just a season prior just goes to show you, in this industry, in coaching, you can be got at any time. All right, Man Bear, 6:57 a.m. Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Wait a minute. Good morning, Coach, and greetings and salutations all. Back at you, Man Bear, even though I can't read this morning. All right, Brent, agree, Bo. Let's see. This team is deeper than I can ever remember. Can't wait for the rematch with the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Exclamation point. Go Lions. I'm going to call it right now. It's going to be the Lions versus Packers in the NFC title game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be the 49ers, but I'm going to say right now, I think the 49ers are declining. The Packers and Lions are rising. And yeah, I think we'll face each other in the NFC title game. What a match that would be, wouldn't it? Ed, what does Brad have to do with this draft for the Duke crew to grade him an A? Whew. Oh, man, I don't know. I guess it's just going to come down to, draft grades are like anything else. They're just best guesses, opinions. But I'll say this, Ed, I think if he goes out there and just gets some names or players that we're all like, yeah, that makes sense, you're going to see people give him an A. Last year's draft, I don't remember. I want to say most people gave him like a C. By the end of the season, I'm pretty sure everybody thought it was an A and A+. Derek, good morning, all. Back at you. Lorraine, what do you got? I'm a Leggett fan myself and think it's the way to go with our 29th pick, assuming Thomas is gone. All right, we'll go with that. Ed, absolutely yes. There's more pressure on Mcdc and Ben Johnson, especially Aaron Glenn. I would agree with all that, especially Aaron Glenn. He's got to get a defense to stand up a little bit better this year. Paul, tell Fernie I said, hey, Polo Paul Foster. All right, fair enough. All right, Silver Server, I don't care much. I don't care much. I wanted to write if Leggett is shorter. All right, yeah, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. And I know there's conflicting information on how tall he is or is not. Motown, we got greetings and salutations, Coach. About to make some noise. People are upset. They have not been paying attention. All right, we'll go with that. Non-Kong Super Bowl or bust. There you are. And good morning to you, my friend. Hopefully having a great one. Bird time. Congrats on all your success in the channel. You deserve it. On the next goal is 10K. Let's go! Exclamation points. Great channel, bud. Thanks, man. And I've said this many times. I think the channel is great because of you guys. Everybody's in here interacting, sharing opinions and thoughts. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. It's just, hey, it's a fun time, at least for me. And I'm getting the impression it is for most of you guys. So I enjoy it every morning. Doug, what do you got? Williams in/AG is going to feel pressure. Also, the new DB coach, no more excuses. MCDC is staying, but AG, he's on a hot seat. Yes, I would agree. He's got to get some production better than what he's had last year or at times the year before that. So, yeah, he's got to produce this year. Broski, DJ Reader is a wait and see. He's older and coming off a major injury. Yeah, Quad City. If he heals up though and he produces, that will help this defensive line a ton. Kurt Steele, the infamous one. Greetings, salutations, my friends. I'm up doing homework and watching Major League Baseball opening day in Korea between the Padres and Dodgers on ESPN. Yeah, I forgot about that. But hey, hopefully you have a good day studying, my friend, and get it done. Always glad to see you on the show. And let me know when you can come on the show sometime. Taylor Made, what do you got? Pressure, question mark. This is why these guys are professionals. They are, man. They are. And they're getting paid. And you know what? People want to see them produce. I'm thinking they're going to produce pretty well this year. Answer 14, it's a real mystery what we will do in this draft this year. Then again, it has been every year Brad has drafted. LOL. Yeah, it's been a mystery where he's going to go. Nobody saw what happened last year in the draft coming to fruition for the Detroit Lions. My guess is answer, it's going to be a lot like that this year. Ed, for me, Brad needs to find 2 starters, one on defense and one on offense. I'll go with that 100%. Doug, this team is whatever AG brings it up to, period. All right. So he's got to raise his game, get more out of the defense. I'm okay with that. Bird time, as a line from a great movie, we're contenders now. There you go. Don Kong, baseball starting. Yeah, man. Preseason's got to be going by now. It's springtime, basically. Bo, what do you got? NFC championship game is the Hillary step. That's a monitoring thing, thing. The last great hurdle before the summit of Mount Everest. Yeah, all right, we'll go with that. And yeah, to your point, get over this speed bump, get into the Super Bowl, and from there, see what you can do. Kurt Steele, and I don't doubt there is much pressure on the coaching staff because of the extensions that Brad Holmes and Campbell just signed. We'll see what happens, but expectations are rising more and more. I do agree with you, though. Those extensions probably help out a little bit. All right, answer 14, long-term success is unheard of for this team. I'm greedy. I want a dynasty like 10 to 15 years worth. That's what's happening when you go without for over 60 years. Yeah, you want to keep it going and, yeah, never get back to where it was, say, the last few years prior to this regime. All right, Michael, for all the new additions, woo, 100%. Flexing and thumbs up. Thanks for that. Doug, Brad is stunning his board like 15 players. He's willing to do whatever he needs, up or down, to add 2 or 3 of our future starters. Got a hole in 4th and early 5th round drafts to fill. Yeah, and I'm going to imagine we'll be making some trades, moving all around like he typically does. So we might end up with a 4th or 5th. So I concur. Clarkston, Washington would be a great trade partner. They're starting over and would love 2 first-rounders. Lions would love 3 second-rounders for depth. Our first for 2 early seconds. Now that's a possibility. I can see that happening. And it raised the question: what are you going to go after? And what are you going to target with those seconds? But let Brad figure that out. Silver Surfer. Let us talk Aleem McNeil. Why are they not re-sign him on a 4-year contract now? He has been fundamental. Yeah, he'll get there in time, 100%. He's got 1 year left on his current deal, and then they'll look to re-sign him. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They'll get to him. Just give him a little bit of time. And then, Penei Sewell. There's going to be a lot of guys coming up because of the great success we've had in the drafts. A lot of guys coming up for new contracts. Lorraine, we've got a better team with free agency, better coaching too. This is an improved team from last year. I fully agree with that. I like our chances for a bowl. Yeah, I do too. I think we will be one of the top teams in competition to get to the Super Bowl and win it. Burger time looks great! Exclamation point. Is that sweatshirt she made you going to be available? I didn't see it up there. Yeah, it's on the site. You might have to scroll through it. I mean, to be honest, I haven't messed with it all the time, but if you go to the site, I think you just got to scroll through and it's eventually there. I want to say, yeah, it's there. The Duke Crew unisex hoodie. So there you go. It is on the site. So go ahead and check them out if you'd like one. And I know it's comfortable. It's real comfortable because she got me 2 of them. And yeah, sometimes I fall asleep on the couch on them. All right. Robert G. Woo! I will be getting some new merch from the Lions Talk Live store. Hey, enjoy it. And hey, I got to show Jen this stuff because I kid you guys not. Yesterday, I think she knew she was close to having it done. I didn't even want to talk to her because when she gets focused like that, you say something to her, she's going to come at you if she takes it the wrong way. So I just went to the other room, watched the newest episode of Shogun, and just stayed out of her way. We'll put it that way. Silver Surfer, they have signed defense, O-line, all good. It looks like they are making it cozy for Goff. I'll go with that. As to say, look what we did. Now give us a discount on your new contract. I fully agree with you, Surfer. I think there's a real possibility. We'll see what happens, but I think there's a real possibility Goff, when he extends, it'll be close to $40 million a year. So I get he could push for 50. An argument can be made for 45, and he's still giving you a discount. But my thoughts are it's going to be close to about $40 million a year. So he understands, hey, he needs to help the team out in order so they can help him out. All right, Doug, our best chance is here this year. Yeah, losing talent next year puts more pressure on us. No more multiple draft picks except maybe compensatory ones. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, you're in it to win it this year. I think you understand your window is it's here and now. Hi, Paperbag fan. Good morning. Good morning to you too, Anthony. It's any given Sunday and best two teams. I'm happy with an appearance. Yeah, if we get to the Super Bowl, I'm not going to lie. I'll just kick back and say, hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm just happy to be there. But doesn't mean if there's not a couple minutes left, maybe the fourth quarter, it's a tight game, I don't start getting greedy. Hookadoo. In my opinion, we need to win the Super Bowl. It's been way too long for that to happen for the Lions. Grit, 100%. Get in there, go get it, get the mission completed. And the next day, hey, everybody calls into work sick. All right, Doug, some players are going to fall. Yes, I would agree. They could have 6 QBs in round 1. That's a reality when QBs cost $50 million a year. You're spot on with that. There are more and more teams that are looking to go the route of the rookie quarterback salary just because how much that impacts the rest of your team. So to your point, the more teams push for quarterbacks, the more other players or positions fall. Manifest my destiny. Detroit exceeded expectations in some minds last year, and now the bar is high. This team, quote, expects to make it far in the playoffs every year and win the Super Bowl multiple times, in your opinion. No, I agree with you, man. Get after it and win it. Make the dynasty a reality. Iceman, if Dan is going to keep going for it on fourth down, at least play conservative and smart during the playoffs when it's win or go home, exclamation point. Dan's decisions can make us or break us. Yeah, I'll go with that. It's part of coaching, man. You put your butt on the line every time there's a close game. And 1 or 2 calls, formations, or whatever could determine the game. It's as much as a result of the coach's ability to put people in the best player positions possible as it is the players to perform on the field. So, a very symbiotic relationship. Server, I'm around you too. Offer a discount to the team and stay on the bandwagon. I'm wants the dough. We'll see where he ends up going, what he signs for and stuff, but I don't doubt he'll be a Detroit Lion. Bird time. I'd love to win the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't be disappointed just getting there. But I feel Lions don't want that feeling again. They would do anything to stop that from happening again. Yeah. So to your point, get in there at all costs, and then when you're there, man, you got to use the Mad Max Thunderdome saying, 2 men enter, 1 man leave. Make sure the Detroit Lions are the ones leaving with the championship. Server, agree with Iceman MCDC. Okay. Eduardo, Robert G. Brad has been building this team since 2021. It is Super Bowl or bust. I'll go with that. Let's see, Broski, what do you got? It's always different when you're the hunted. Yeah, I agree. I don't have much faith in MCDC's coaching ability. Well, let's hope he supersedes expectations. All right, Doug, so many different players and potential schemes. If injuries hold back practice time at key spots could be an issue. Pressure to decide on Goff and St. Brown. You're not wrong, man. I mean, hey, it's as much a business as it is sports, and you're going to have to make some business decisions at some point down the line. Eduardo, the only thing about the coaching staff, all the games plans they come up with for the postseason were excellent, especially the masterclass they had in the first half of the San Francisco game. Yeah, they put together, like you say, a masterclass in that first half. The problem, like we all are definitely aware as Lions fans past year, is that third quarter. For whatever reason, teams make adjustments. Our adjustments don't seem to beat them out. There were only a couple times where I thought we really performed well in the third quarter. Ben Johnson and the whole staff are going to have to figure that out because you really can't afford to take 15 minutes off in a game. Kevin B, woo, 100%. There you go, man. Eduardo, everyone's acting like the Lions weren't the hunted last year's team. Knew last year. Yeah, at some point, the start of the year, okay, you're proving yourself. But by the time you got to the middle of the year, your record was such where most teams identified you as a threat and an opportunity for them to kind of, raise their status by trying to beat you. So I get that. I agree with that. Surfer, if Lions get to the Super Bowl, they are going to eat the opponent with all their backed up appetite. Coach Campbell permitting, bless his heart. Yeah. The one good thing I think you kind of hit on there, Surfer, is as much depth as we have, you get that deep in the season. I mean, everybody's going to power through injuries, but the Lions at least appear on paper to have an incredibly deep roster. They're going to be able to overcome injuries probably a little bit better than most other teams. Well, Uber Plus, there's no faith there. All right. Well, wait, it happens, man. Sometimes you just got to prove yourself. All right, Antonio C. Hey, Coach, what do you think is our biggest need still? Wide receiver, edge, or offensive line? If it's me, it's probably going to be offensive line. An argument can be made for defensive line or edge. And from there, wide receiver, hey, never going to hurt to have good quality young players coming in at any spot. But if you ask me, Antonio, I'm going to say offensive line just because I would like to have some better younger players in there. Doug, new coaches at key positions. Williams is going to make some really experienced influence on the offensive line and overall defense. AG needs to be flexible and learn to bend to game needs and talent availability. I'll go with that 100%. Bo, I will be ecstatic to win the championship game. Getting to the Super Bowl is the goal. How that goes, win or lose, I will be happy. Yeah, I'm going to guess there's a whole lot of Lions fans just getting into the Super Bowl. That's going to be enough for them. But we get there, might as well win it, right? Doug, wide receivers get injured. For instance, St. Brown or Laporta got injured. Get one in mid-rounds unless someone we can't resist comes up. Okay, I'll go with that. It's 14. I think Brad's philosophy is endless rotations of fresh people all game long. He is building depth, but it's quality depth when you don't lose anything by substituting players in and out. No, I agree. There's a ton of depth on this team. And I know we talked about a little bit on yesterday's show. I do almost wonder if they're going to get enough depth where maybe every drive they can rotate somebody in and out on the offensive line just to keep them fresher longer throughout the season. Trump's, I called A before I-line pickup. All right, very good. All right, Bo, rotation. I know you're key on that. Doug, St. Brown has big plans. He's not going to always be a homer, trust me. Touch and go contracts, I bet. All right, we'll see what happens with the contracts. Is that still you? I dream of Lions teams dominating Thanksgiving Day games for the next decade. Hey, let's make that happen. That would be awesome. That would help on Thanksgiving. Trump, good morning, Bear. All right, Server. I know I repeat a lot of things. Not easy to speak Lions every day, but then again, lots of us forget a lot of things we say. There you go. And then it happens more and more as we get older. Eduardo, Broski, a hater. Don't listen to him. Chicago will be lucky to have 9 wins this year. We'll see what shakes out. All right, Broski, I think Lions go 9-8 or 8-9 this season. Fair enough. I'm still pushing for about 11 wins. So, there's not a huge difference there, but in the standings, that is a massive difference. All right, Doug, St. Brown will not be a Jefferson or a Chase. I hope his agent isn't pricing him here. Part of his draw is overcoming the 4th round status. His money demands are going to be as expensive as Zettler types. All right, we'll see where those demands are. Brent, sure hope the Bears draft Caleb Williams because that means we'll sweep them this year and probably next. Dude is a diva with no leadership qualities. Yeah, I'd say at this point, all roads appear to lead the Bears to drafting him. So see what happens. Kurt, Broski, troll much? We'll see. Shadow Man, Broski, you are lost. Fair enough. I know some of you guys wanted Anthony's phone number to contact him. There you go, if you need it. Let's see. Brent, put the pipe down, Broski Bear. Fair enough. All right, Michael. Lions at least 15 wins or more regular season all the way to the Super Bowl. Place your bets now, folks. All right, get on the train. The train is taking off to the Super Bowl. All right, Anthony, let's hope St. Brown isn't carrying his frustration from the draft into contract negotiations and trying to make the Lions pay for might find himself somewhere else. Yeah, if he's going to come in and have unrealistic expectations, unfortunately, you might have to move on from him, whether it's this year, next year, 2 years, whatever. We'll have to wait and see. But the Lions have all the power right now in that they can franchise him. I mean, I guess St. Brown could just not play. That would be an option. But, hey, as an athlete, you're on a diminishing timeline. It's not like you have a 20 or 30-year career. I mean, especially at the wide receiver. You got to strike now while you can. Merc time, exactly, Brent. Fair enough. All right, Doug watched an interview of Zettler. In the background was a framed news article of the 1957 championship with a center picture. This guy wants that title here. Yeah, and he's kind of come out and made that abundantly clear. Part of the reason why he signed with the Lions is he wants to chase a Super Bowl. He feels he can get that here. Also, I guess if you want to be devil's advocate, could also mean that it's kind of a shot at the Ravens organization that he doesn't think he can get it with them. So food for thought. Shannon Broski is mad the Lions are set up for years of success. You fear the Lions is so strong, you jump on here daily to talk down about us. That's fear. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, hold on. Got to get the next one. There we go. Surfer. Not at all worried about Zettler run blocking. He comes from the University of Wisconsin. That's all they do. You're not wrong. Man, co-worker comes in early this morning and did a test and said we could watch this. Go Lions. All right, we'll go with that. And yeah, hopefully they enjoyed the test. Doug, what do you got? Zettler go so good at pass protection. Protection split second more jam deep. Yeah. If you look at the Lions' grades for the projected offensive linemen who are going to start, I mean, they're all basically top level offensive linemen. I want to say the Lions, and don't hold me to this, I want to say we now have 3 of the top rated PFF graded offensive linemen on this team, and the other 2 are just, a stone's throw behind them. So that line could be pretty deep. One funky, Kurt, he's here every day. Broski is a harmless troll. Fair enough. Doug Scudfield is probably still here. It could be. All right, Doug, let's see. This year, Hooker doesn't have that emergency only status. No, he won't. So it would have to be probably somebody else. I'm guessing Hooker will be the backup. Matthew, if you go up in the draft, then you have to get ahead of Dallas. Minnesota won't trade. They want to trade with Arizona so they can get J.J. McCarthy. Don't know if Arizona would trade down twice. I'm guessing Minnesota is going to try to trade up to get to J.J. McCarthy. What's it going to take to get to number Arizona drafts at number 4, I want to say? You're going to have to give up a haul to go get that. Hookadoo, Broski, put the crack pipe down and step away. Okay. Fair enough, man. Steve, last night NFL channel played Week 13, 2021, Dan's first win. What a different team. Yeah, it wasn't that, if I'm not mistaken, was that the game against Minnesota where St. Brown catches it with no time left on the clock, something like that? Yeah, what a game. And I remember all the memes the next day. There was an infamous one of all these people. It was like a 30-second video. All these people out in front of some store. These guys were putting a new sign up or whatever, and then it's took the sign from 10-1 to 110-1. You had people crying, kissing each other, falling to the ground. Yeah, it was kind of hysterical. Doug, kicker, all right. Jay, what do you? Was Romeo on our roster? He was until he got released, I don't know, like a few weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. I did see he retired today. He said he just didn't have the heart to keep going or whatever. It was a live or die lion, basically. Mile in rural areas, school bus is like a moving clock. When you see it on the dirt road, you know what time it is. LOL, I'm 3 gravel roads back, and the school bus comes by 5 minutes to 7 minutes showtime. Hey, that's cutting it close, but I'm glad you're able to get the kids out there and get down to the show. So enjoy it, my friend. Pat, morning coach, back at you. Hoping a great morning. Doug, Brad knows how to move up and down the draft board. He also knows types of players he's targeting. Yeah, they probably at this point got a pretty good list and pretty good idea who their prospects are, what it's going to take to if they want to move up or down to get them. Let's see, the Great Lakes. Good morning. We still need to go up and get it. Back of the end zone, sideline catch kind of wide receiver, in my opinion. So a big-time receiver, yeah, big physical receiver. I could see that, man, 100%, Great Lakes. Pat, no receiver in the first round. It would be our 4th option. Fair enough. Lions talking to the bad guy, John Kapler. Good morning, all. It's been a week. Do we sign one last of free agent that drops their stock? I believe we still have the cap room. If we wanted to sign someone, we could. It couldn't be anybody big price or anything, but someone around the $6 million range, I think is possible. All right, Broski, Brentwood, I've been waiting for you to hook me up with your plug. Seems like you're on a constant supply. Good stuff. Fair enough. Michael Reeder was hurt 4 years ago and not going to disappoint the team of the bandwagon fans. Fair enough. Broski, Kurt Steele, Shadow Man, wait and see. I've seen this story before. Fair enough. Shadow Man, actually, I come here for legit football talk and end up really enjoying it here. How do you not like Dan? Thanks for that, man. Question mark. It's a good group here. It is, man. It is. And hey, it's I get it, man. Broski's in here. Hey, he's a Bears fan, man. He's gonna pump his team. He's gonna, throw some shade lines from time to time, but that's part of the fun of it, man. I mean, just like sometimes we get Packers fans or Vikings fans in here, although I'm guessing we'll probably see less of the Vikings fans this year. Hookadoo, we'll discuss again after Bears beat Lions both times this year. Fair enough. Exit 8, Brad is setting up for best player available regardless of position. People will be pissed after the draft because he didn't take the position they think we need. In December, they will be saying he is a genius. Yeah, that's exactly how it went last year, man. Everybody was throwing shade at him, but by the end of the year, to your point, Exit 8, they were singing his praises. All right, Hookadoo, Brosi, do you have a good sense of humor? Yes, he does, man. Let's see. Bo Shogun is great. Yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. I remember the original series long time ago, but yeah, this one's been great. I've been impressed with it. Jen does not like it, by the way. Mile marker at Bo, you startled me. I grew up with mountaineer grandparents, Cascade Wilderness Ranges. So to see Hillary step really woke me up. Yeah, that's some old school talk or whatever. Hills of Kentucky, basically. Michael, is Shogun worth watching? I enjoy it. Jen does not. Jen does not enjoy what do you call it? Where they put all the words about the screen when they're talking Japanese. So you get it though. She doesn't like to reading that. She wants to hear it, and yeah, I enjoy hearing the Japanese and they haven't had any Chinese in it, but the Japanese kind of triggers some memories for me. So, all right, Phil, good morning. Good morning to you, Phil. Hopefully you have a great one. Phil, Green Bay is going to be pushing the Lions hard this year. They will, and they should. They've got a young and very talented team. Doug, going on fourth down will not be so necessary when we have a devastating defense. That could also be true. If you have more faith in the defense, maybe you don't go for it on fourth as much. All right, Joseph Green, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Good morning to you too, my friend. Hopefully you have an outstanding morning. Answer 14 at Broski Bear. You guys have Eberflus. there could be some truth to that. So hey, that dude's under a lot of fire this year, and I feel for him because he's more than likely going to have a rookie quarterback. I hope the front office takes that somewhat into consideration with the coaching staff. Eduardo Broski Bear is hilarious. He is, man. Phil, you have to. There you go. Eduardo, he is hating on DC like he doesn't have Eberflus. Fair enough. Phil, play 4 quarters. I'm always in favor of that versus only playing half or three-fourths of the game. Trump Bear is just trolling. He is. All right. Doug, what do you got? Zeller is only on 1 year. That is true. I mean, DL on the earlier comment. All right. Fair enough. Let's see. Broski, answer 14. Eduardo. O'Neal Flus was 3 games in his first season and 7 games last season. Won 3 games, yeah, for first year, 7 last year. The roster is much better going into this season. He should be 10 wins this season. That would be marked improvement over that time. Can he do it with the rookie quarterback? All will have to be seen in time. Mile marker, answer 14. I'd not thought about that. Good idea. Fair enough. All right. Zebroski, Trump's Deans, good morning to you, sir. I'm next level troll. I don't make stuff up. It's always based on facts. Fair enough. Bear, your facts are flawed. All right. Fair enough. Trump's, we'll see. All right. Burger time. Guys, you get your orders in for the Duke Crew t-shirts. Anthony put a lot of work into those. Let's show him the gratitude. 100% with that. Let's see. Miles Marker. He's a Badger, question marks, exclamation points. Now he already got a strike against him. Fair enough. Mama, Golden Gophers, baby. There you are. Right. Robert G, have a great day, all. Same to you, my friend. Have a great day. Steve, yes. Brent, Bears had a good chance at winning 10 games with Fields. With whoever now, question mark, don't know. Yeah, I'm still surprised they traded him, but it is what it is. All right, guys, one or two more here. Mile marker, Boo, what do you got? Or Bo, out west there is a mountain named after my grandfather, Eagle Bright Peak. Yes, I'm bragging. I'm very proud of my grandfather. Yes, you should be, man. That's pretty awesome, and awesome for you, Miles. All right, Broski, Texans won the division in a playoff game with a rookie quarterback and rookie center. Too true. Matthew, as soon as Caleb Williams learns how to hit his receivers, laying on his back, then we will worry. Fair enough. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up shop today. Got a busy day today, so got to get things going and rolling. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're about 50 or 40 subs away from hitting 6,200, so if you could help make that happen, that'd be great. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up button. If there's some breaking news and I have time today, I'll try to hop on the mic. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.